All right, are we live?
We are. It says live.
Okay. Is it public? I just want to make sure.
I'll go and double check.
Okay. Just want to make sure here.
It doesn't say public.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, let me fix it. All right, there we go. I was afraid of that. Okay. It is public now.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome. Happy Monday. We're just gonna wait a couple of minutes for more people to join here, and then we will get started. Hi, Ming.
Hi, Ming.
All right. I hope everybody's doing well and staying safe. Hope school is going okay for everybody as well. Fall is here, so it's getting colder.
I know. I've been getting so into Starbucks coffee now that fall is coming. I'm like, oh, time to get those hot drinks and lattes and stuff like that.
Yeah, those are good to have at this time of the year, though. So.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Okay. Hi, Valentine. Okay. Okay, we'll wait another couple minutes here. I hope you guys are excited. This will be a very exciting, informative, and educational broadcast. So I hope that a lot of our viewers got from this broadcast here. So yeah.
I can't wait. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
We're going to be having some surprises that being, set up.
Yes. Yeah, this will be a very different broadcast than what you guys have seen before. So, yeah. In addition to what was planned, thank you to everybody who liked and shared the promo video that my sister Kalia made. I really do appreciate that. So, and thank you to Kalia for making that. I know you're watching, so hi, Emily. All right. Okay, maybe just another minute and then we'll get started. So, all right. Okay. Please help share the live here. It should be public. I did make sure it was public. So,
yeah. Yep. To public.
Okay. Okay. Okay, all right. I know more people will probably be kind of coming in as we start here, but we're going to go ahead and start because it's already 5 after. All right, so welcome everybody to this special broadcast. As you can see, I have the wonderful and beautiful Hmong veteran dancer Manie Xiong with me here today for the first time. Thank you so much, Manie, for taking the time and volunteering to be here with me today. It's great to have you here, so thank you. All right. Yep. All right, and so I do just want to point out we are going to have some time allotted at the end of the interview for questions. So if you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. We will try to get to as many questions as we can, but I'm going to try to do maybe 20-30 minutes depending on how much time we have. So just to let all of our viewers know about that. Okay, so without further ado, we are going to get started. Manie, could you introduce yourself?
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Manie. I am from Appleton, Wisconsin, and I have been dancing, traditionally Hmong dancing for roughly about 17, 18 years. So I started when I was very, very young. At the age of roughly around 5. I had to go back and ask my mom, but for a very long time now, and it's been a long ride from kind of seeing the world change. So it's very nice to see, like make new friendship and stuff like that. So I'm super excited to share my dance journey with everyone else here.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Manny, again for being here. All right. So, the first question that I would like to ask you is, what jump started your dancing career?
So, like I said, I started when I was very young. And I can't really remember much, but I know my sisters and I have always talked about like how it all kind of started. It all started with like my cousins dancing. They were teenagers at that time, and my mom kind of just forced me and my sisters, all my sisters, so all 4 of us, into dancing with them. And it just kind of went from there. And I just kind of kept going because we had constant like performances and a lot of opportunities to perform at different events. And also, we were very young at the time, so we were just kind of like stress free, kind of just danced all summer long, all season long. So, and just meeting a lot of friends throughout the years that I danced. So it just kept going and going, going on.
Okay, well, awesome. All right, so next question here. You are a part of Hmong USA, Nkauj Nplaim Taws, and Zaj Huam Seev. What significance does each group have to you?
Um, so we started out with Hmong USA. That was basically my childhood dream team. Like I said before, kind of stress free. We just kept dancing and dancing and dancing. We had a lot of victories. We had a lot of moments where we didn't win, but we just kept going. Um, and and then go show now. After about a couple, a long years with Gomong USA, we kind of took a break. Within that break, I just kind of worked and we performed just for like showcases, for events and stuff, but nothing too serious, nothing competitive. Until 2016, I kept bothering my sister. I told her, I was like, I want to do competition again. So I told Shane, I was like, I want to do competition again. And, I want to do it. And if you don't want to, like, it's fine. But she was like, no. Like, at first, she was really against it. She was like, no, do you know how stressful it is? Because Nkauj USA, she was, throughout, like, later in the years of Nkauj USA, she held the team, she was the choreographer and stuff like that. So she was like, it's very stressful. And I was like, I just thought like I don't think so. But and then one day I guess she kept thinking about it and she totally changed her mind. She was like, okay, fine, like you have to find the dancers though, and they have to be reliable. And I was like, okay, so I found the dancers. Majority of them were our previous dancers from Nkauj USA. Some of them were new, and when we came back 2016. I just thought that it was gonna be more of just like dancing, right? Like home dancing. But then it was when when we came back, it was a whole new kind of style, kind of like a turning point for me. I didn't know that, for instance, Go Shona was gonna go that far for our first performance to our last performance. I didn't know what my sister had in mind, so she never really discussed it with me. She just kind of went on, and so I just kind of let her do her thing. And basically, yeah, so Shane started Goshuna, and she was the lead of that team. I think for me personally, that was Goshuna was like the turning point of a new trend style dancing. And it was really getting myself back into the groove of how competition is really now. So yeah, when Goshuna started, I felt like it was more like the Hmong dancing. It was we did a lot of props. We did a whole storyline, and when we did Thai dancing, it was kind of like the sassiness, and so I felt like that was the whole thing that turned dancing around them, like the trend. I think that was like the turning point for me that I saw for Hmong dancing. And then for Gomblek, that was the year after Goshunan, which was 2017. My sisters and them, she was going afar for like school and stuff, and she just had a lot on her plate. So I told her, like, she was like, I don't want to, I don't, I need to focus on life. So I was like, okay. I decided that I want to continue dancing. So I decided I was gonna make my own team, and my own team that I made was Nkauj Nplaim Taws, and it taught me a lot of leadership skills, a lot of management, a lot of I had to go through a lot of stress. I was always, but like that was what kept me humble, and that was what taught me so much about myself from when how I can control myself from when I am stressed versus when I am happy. And also like with the victories and stuff, it was very accomplishing for me. I don't know if that's a word, but um, yeah, with Go Black though, it was a long journey for me personally because there was ups and downs, and it was just all a learning experience because it was my first time having my own team, and my sisters helped me, but I always tried to depend on myself and what I can really do for myself versus trying to always depend on my sisters. So it taught me so much, and I'm so thankful for that team because it was because of them that made me to teach it taught myself how to be who I am when I am a coach versus like a dancer versus a friend, Um, and so after that, I went on to dancing with Zaj Huam, which was a collaboration between me and one of my dancers from Nkauj Taws plus Suki. And I've always wanted to dance with Emily Yang. I've always wanted to dance with her because we grew up together, but with like different groups, We've both always been in like we're both around the same age, so we always like we grew up Hmong dancing like next to each other basically. Um, Zhao Sheng, it was a totally very different environment for me in a good way. So I always grew up in more of like a strict environment, kind of competitiveness, um, and then going into Zhao Sheng, it kind of opened up my eyes to a lot of things. So a lot of fun, a lot of like teamwork like opinionated team, a lot of sisterhood. Um, Jean was saying it was more of like bringing in new styles and always, like thinking outside the box. And yeah, it was a really fun team. I mean, I enjoyed all the teams that I've been with, but then because Hmong USA and Nkauj Nag, I was with my sisters. I kind of wanted to go outside of my circle and just kind of, see how it's like to be with another team. So being with Zhao Sheng, it was very eye opening. Um, a lot of the girls, like we had to do a lot of traveling, and I really liked that we focused a lot. Like we always had fun, and yeah, so it was just very different, but like very, very different in a good way. All of the groups really made a huge impact in my life.
All right. Well, that is awesome to hear. I think it's very interesting how you went from dancing like with your sisters for so long, and then going outside and dancing with your friends, close friends. Is very different. Having to
Mhm.
go outside the circle, like you said there. But okay. One thing I do want to share with everybody right here is all of Manie's victories since the beginning of her dance journey. So starting in 2006 all the way to 2018, there is a total of 37 wins. Red is first place, green is second place, and yellow is third place. And so, as you can see, every year there were so many victories there. All right. So great accomplishments to you, Manie. I think that's definitely a record for veteran dancers. So that is awesome there. All right. So I would like to go right into the next question here, which is you were very successful in the past generation of dance competitions and very successful in the current generation. Maintaining success while having to keep up with changing trends is not easy. How were you able to maintain that success?
Thank you for showing the victories. I never realized that we had that much until you brought it all up. I was like, whoa. But with that question, I think the main thing is like bringing in new styles and always thinking outside the box, working hard and being different. I think that's what you kind of have to look at, to kind of like stand out, to kind of also like make your, the audience attract. You have to be different, so I feel like that was what you had to kind of do in order to keep the audience interested and maintaining that success for sure.
Okay. All right. And so again, you guys had seen the previous diagram there, but I want to break it down a little bit further there. Just within Wisconsin, the Labor Day dance competition and the Milwaukee New Year are the largest events in the state of Wisconsin with the most competitive dance competitions. And so I think it's very worthy to also showcase these successes as well. So if you guys look here, all right. It might be a little small. I do apologize, but this is as far as I can go in. If you can see here, this is Labor Day from the beginning until current, 2003 until 2019. These are all the teams that have placed at Labor Day. So this includes first, second, third, as well as fourth and fifth. The years that they gave prizes 1 through 5. And what's highlighted in red here, this is Nkauj USA. How many victories that you guys had, and then here is Nkauj Nplaim Taws and Zaj Huam. All right, and that is a total of 7 victories altogether. There are a lot of other teams that had 4 victories. It looks like that was the highest there, but Manie, you have surpassed that with 7 for Labor Day. So that is an incredible accomplishment there. So I wanted to share that with everybody. All right. Next here is Milwaukee. I was able to get the data from 2006 until current. It looks like some teams here had 4 wins. That was the highest within this time period. Nkauj USA had 3 plus Nkauj Nplaim Taws and Zaj Huam altogether makes 6. So setting another record there for the most number of wins at the 2 largest and most competitive dance competitions in the state of Wisconsin. So again, it just gives you guys a really good idea of how successful Manie was during her journey there. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. All right, so going into the next question I have here. So you participated in dance competitions all over the state of Wisconsin, but you've also traveled to Minnesota and California as well. So I want to know, what are the biggest differences between the 3 states, and what are some similarities between them?
So yeah, I've been to I haven't been to like, I mean, I've been to Wisconsin, Cali, and Minnesota. And it's been a while, but I think for me, what I see within Wisconsin, there is lots of sportsmanship and traditional style of dancing. Everyone's dance style from Minnesota, California, and Wisconsin is very different, and which is good because each group has their own dance style, and each state has their own dance style, and that's what keeps it interesting. So with Minnesota, I see that a lot of they have amazing outfits. They have they are really into CSD dancing and a lot of different styles of dancing, from Miao Chinese to Bollywood to Mongolian. So they have a lot of different unique ways of dancing for with like cultural dancings. And then with California, they are a lot more traditional. They have moves that are very upbeat, and they like that hits every beat, and that's what I really like too, because it's kind of like wow, like when you see it, it's kind of like wow, they hit that beat, so it keeps everything very interesting. And they have, every group in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and California, they all have very good sportsmanship towards each other, whether it's over Facebook or in person. Yeah, I have friends from California, I have friends from Minnesota, and a lot from Wisconsin. I think the differences I couldn't yeah, I think the differences are like the different dance styles, and the similarities I couldn't really think of any because they all are very different in their own way. Um, But the only thing I could really think of is like sportsmanship for similarities. But yeah, all the outfits are different. All the way of dance styles are different. Some California groups are smooth and elegant. Some are, like upbeat and like energetic. And that's what I like, that each group has their own, you know, um, their own like kind of like their own print to a dance, to their dance style.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, that's really good to know. I know that a lot of teams who maybe have not been to Minnesota or haven't been to California, it gives them a really good idea of what it's like, knowing the differences there. So, one thing I do want to share as well, for those who may not know. All right, so here, this is the Hmong American New Year in Minnesota from 2004 until 2019. And Wisconsin winners is this yellow part right here. We've taken about 6% of the wins there. All right, just from Wisconsin. So this green part is Dalan Dance Studio. This is Aini Asian Dance Theater, and these are from other dance studios or other groups who are not a part of Dalan or Aini, but Wisconsin has taken about 6% of titles there between this time period. For the Hmong Minnesota New Year or the River Center New Year, again, Wisconsin is this yellow part here. About 7% of the titles have been taken by Wisconsin teams there. Dalan is at about 28%. Aini is at 34%, and then other teams are about 29% right there. So we have had some successes with some Wisconsin teams there within that time frame as well. Going on to Fresno Hmong New Year, also within that time frame, Wisconsin has taken about 13% of the titles there within the last 15 years. California and Minnesota was pretty much split for the remaining within the whole last 15 years right here. So, and Manie, you and your teams have been helped put Wisconsin on the map for each one. So again, another great accomplishment that I just want to share with everybody because I think it is amazing. And we always say that, anytime you go out of state, you are representing your own state as well. And so you helped put Wisconsin on the map in all these other areas as well. And I think that is incredible. So awesome job to you there. All right.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so going into the next question. So comparing dance competitions in the previous generation to the current generation, what are some of the biggest differences and what are some similarities?
Oh, that's a tough one. So, previous, generation, back then we were all very kind of more on the energetic side of dancing, and energetic, more jumpy. The outfits were a lot different, more simplicity, more sparkly clothing. Now it is more of traditional clothing, so a lot of like the old styles are coming back into kind of like modern fashion as well. So I can see that that's like what's changed. Also back then, the sportsmanship was definitely not really up there. Now it is a lot different. There are all the teams are so, like they have such good sportsmanship, always encouraging each other and always complimenting and giving ideas and stuff like that. Also, back then was very competitive. So like in like during the Nkauj Hmoob USA years, that like with other dance groups, I feel like everything was very competitive. Versus now, it's kind of like you just have fun. It's still competitive, but you have the mindset of just your team, like just do good, and not like compare yourselves to like other teams and stuff. It's I wouldn't say it's less competitive, but it's still competitive, but in a different way. Back then was more of like kind of intense, and now it's kind of like competitive, but like also like encouraging. Yeah. So it's both very different. The with competitions like itself, I feel like the generation right now, like the competition hosts and events and stuff like that, runs all smoothly. Versus back then, it was very kind of like all over the place, kind of very messy. And now that we have like hostesses that have more experience with how Hmong dancing is like and stuff like that, it runs a lot more smoothly now. And I really like that now there is, you know, awards and there's awards and like different types of awards, such as, you know, like how Joa does it, where she has best outfits, best choreography, and stuff like that. I think that's what really keeps the audience interested, and also kind of like challenges each dance team as well. I think the similarities. Let me see. I couldn't really think of any as for similarities versus from the previous generation to this current generation. Yeah. What do you think?
I think one thing is we seem to have ended off being strong with Hmong dancing. Because I know before it was very much Bollywood Chinese, and then we ended up with Hmong. And that's where we lasted, and right now we're still there. Which is actually another question that we'll get into a little bit later, but I think that's a big similarity. It seems we always like to tell stories about our culture. So I think that's one thing that stands out there. So, all right, any last comments about that question there? Or?
I think that's it, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, all right. So one thing that I did want to share, and I only have the data for Labor Day. Unfortunately, I don't have it for any other New Year's. But to give you guys a little bit of idea about history here. So again, Labor Day started in 2003 up until right now. We started between 10 to 20 teams. That's where we started. And then it went down, definitely went up where we had nearly 30 teams. And then it went back down again. And then it continued to go down. We didn't have a festival in 2014. That's why it's empty there, but then it slowly crept up, and now we're back in the 20 plus teams there, especially with expanding to groups A and B. So you guys kind of see or get an idea of what it was like. Labor Day again was one of the ones that most teams participated in, if not all. So you can kind of see where it went up and down, especially with the competitiveness there. So this next one is the same thing, except the ones highlighted in red here, Manie, were the ones that you participated in specifically. So of the 15 Labor Days, you have participated in 9 of them. So again, setting another record there. And I'm going to break this down a little bit further in my next one here. So this next data piece that I created here, I did kind of like a map to get an idea of how look at the visual differences between the past and the current generation. So these are all of the veteran teams that I know of. I know there's definitely been a lot more teams, but I don't know every single one of them, so I wasn't able to put all of them on here. Same thing with the current generation. But what I wanted to put out there and for everyone to visualize here is how long these teams participated during Labor Day. You can see that a lot of teams here, they were there for 4, 5, 6, 7 years in a row. That was very common during the past generation. And so every year you can kind of expect to see the same teams. Until about 2010 to 2015 was where it kind of died out, and you don't really see a lot of teams here, as you guys can see in the picture. And it started picking up in 2016, as you can see here, where you start seeing more teams emerging. But one thing that's very different is you don't see as many teams that are consistently coming back with the same name or most of the same dancers. You see more teams dissolve after a couple of years and form new teams from that. So more variety was definitely a big difference, whereas during the past generation, it was more consistent. So that's a very, very big difference between the two there. I think we see now where you have some dancers who stop dancing and the dancers who are still dancing would collaborate with other dancers from other groups. So that is something that we are seeing here. You didn't see a whole lot of that back in the day. So that's a big difference that I just wanted to point out with the visual that I created here. And going back to participation, again, a lot of teams participated in the past generation for 4, 5, 6, 7 years straight. Hmong USA specifically was there for 6 years. And then with the current generation, we've had a few teams that have been there 4 or 5 years consecutively. And then with Nkauj Nplaim Taws and Zaj Huam Seev, that's an additional 3 years for you, Manie. So the 6 plus 3 is the 9 years there total. So just want to kind of give everybody a visual of what that looks like there. So next. All right, so going into genres now. So from the early to mid 2000s, Bollywood was the dominant genre. Then it became Chinese until the early 2010s. Then Hmong took over. Why do you think it took so long for Hmong to become the dominant genre?
For me, I think a lot of dancers were very inspired by new styles of dancing. Not only that, but we watched a lot of like Indian movies, like Bollywood movies, and a lot of like Chinese movies. Like, we kind of grew up in that, where we didn't have like cable and stuff like that. So we always watched like, well, personally for me, we've always watched like VHS videos and stuff like that. So we didn't have technology and stuff. So we always watched what our parents, watch. And I feel like that's what really brought the inspiration of different dance genres to dance groups. I know that for a fact we wanted to do it because like we went from Bollywood to Chinese, Miao to Thai, Lao, and then came back to Hmong, and I think it took so long because we all kind of just wanted to try out how it was like to dance in that kind of cultural dancing. It's very tiring. I'll be honest. Like when we did Bollywood for sure, that was so tiring. I think everybody who's done Bollywood can agree with me on that. It's a lot of like upbeat, a lot of energy, a lot of different movements and stuff. So that was very tiring, but it was very, very fun. Also, the outfits are amazing. Like the outfits and how to sew it and the jewelry, it was incredibly like so pretty. And then with like Chinese, I feel like a lot of groups started doing that because the history of Hmong people, we were kind of like meow in Chinese, so it's kind of like we wanted to bring that into the Hmong community and kind of show that to the audience that like, hey, we kind of know a little bit like about our history from meow itself. So I feel like that for me, that's why we wanted to do meow in like Chinese, and then for like Hmong now, I think a lot of people are becoming more aware of our traditional dancing, where we're from, and a lot of our clothes and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's why. I feel like to me that's why.
Okay. All right. Okay. And before I go on to the final question here, I do want to let our viewers know after I finish with the final question, you guys are welcome to ask questions to Manie as well. And she will answer that. We'll have about 20 or 30 minutes reserved for that. So if you guys have questions, please drop them in the comments there. I just want to let everybody know that. Okay. So the final thing I want to show here is kind of what we were just talking about, where at the beginning, and again, this is strictly Labor Day, because this is the only data I know of personally, and so Labor Day 2003 all the way to 2019 currently here, and this is Bollywood, this is Chinese, this is Hmong, and this is Thai, and some of you guys, if you guys had seen my last broadcast with the Wisconsin dance coordinators, I did show this at that broadcast 5 months ago, so you might be familiar with it, but I wanted to bring it back here for discussion, where you can see where Bollywood started and how long it lasted up until 2008 or so. and then Chinese kind of took over for a couple years, and then it was just Hmong, strictly pretty much from 2011 there all the way until now. It's pretty much dominated the competition era there, specifically for Labor Day. So the final question for you, Manie, is Hmong has now beaten Bollywood and Chinese as being the longest lasting dominant genre for almost 10 years now. What do you think it is about Hmong dancing that has made it more successful compared to Bollywood and Chinese?
For me, um I feel like the audience understands the music, like Hmong music, and because most of our attendees for events and stuff, they are Hmong people, so they can actually understand the lyrics. They can actually understand like what the song is talking about. And also, I feel like Hmong dancing has a lot of like freestyle movement, and also like how like you had where it says required. A lot of dance groups or a lot of dance competitions did require, Hmong round because we always went with that. We are Hmong people. We should embrace our culture and, make sure that the judges are understanding like what the group is being judged on and the categories that they're being judged on. So, yeah, and not only that, but I also feel like the Hmong outfits are becoming a lot more popular and stuff like that. So I feel, and that a lot of dancers nowadays are being more aware that, and embracing a lot of like traditional Hmong dancing, kind of putting it out there, putting ourselves out there that, I'm a Hmong dancer and we do this and that, and what Hmong dancing actually is versus like other cultural dances.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's again a very, very interesting historical data to look back on, just to kind of see the trends between back then compared to now. So I just want to give everybody an idea of what that looks like there. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yep. Any last comments?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I think it was also very entertaining to the audiences that not only was it just Hmong dancing, but we also brought like different cultures to the Hmong competitions. So that way it kept the audiences, interested in that it doesn't like bore you out, It brings a different, each dance group had their own style. Each dance group had their own outfit to like a Bollywood song, a different outfit to like a Chinese song, So like it was just it was a lot more fun. Not saying that right now isn't, because right now all the songs are actually, I feel like there's a lot more upbeat Hmong songs. There's a lot more artists who are singing a lot more upbeat and like more modern Hmong songs that really keeps Hmong songs like very interesting to like dance to. Yeah, I think that's what keeps it very entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, thank you again for sharing your perspective on that. So I do just want, though those were all my visuals that I was gonna show there. I do just want to put out a full disclosure that all the visuals there were based on resources that were made public, mostly on YouTube and my personal knowledge. So if I did do anything inaccurately or something is incorrect, I do apologize for that. Because again, I only know so much there, and I did want to kind of surprise all of our viewers with the data and the stats with what I had there. So I do apologize if anything was inaccurate there. I do just want to put that out there as a disclosure. So let's move into some questions now that the interview questions are done. So May wants to know, May, what is your top 2 dances of your career? We'll do with that one first.
Top 2 dances. I can't. That's really hard. I can't really choose between 2. I don't know. There were a lot, honestly. I think one for sure is when Nkauj Suab Nag, our Hmong outfit one. We call it Hmong Luning dance. It talked about the differences between living back in the old days in Thailand versus how it is like here in America. I think that that was one of my favorite dances because it really shows how it's the differences between living in over there and plus over here. And not only that, but I felt like the props really brought everything back together. You know, we had Ilua Tokyo that my dad made. We also had Olu Chain Ring, where my dad also made for us. And we also had like baskets with like little flowers or little wheats in them, just to kind of give it like a good environment, you know, kind of like to just kind of like bring the audience back with us to how it was back then. And then in the ending where we had the story cloth, I think for me that was like, to me that was like the icing on the cake, you know, that just like top off everything for that dance. Every time I go back and watch it, it always gives me goosebumps. It always brings me back like so much good memories that, you know, like that like it worked out, you know. It's always a good feeling whenever I go back and watch that. And then if I had to choose between the other one, I would have to say I love all the dances, but I think this one also for me was the best one that I felt like, not the best one, but I would say like the one that just really stood out to me too. Our Nkauj Hmoob song. That song, I talked with my sister about it. I worked with my sister with it, and also we worked with Venice Chang, the singer, and he sung our song and Hmong Joy and Hmong Do, you know. So in the beginning, we kind of talked about like how we are happy to be Hmong kids, like Hmong children, and why we're proud to be Hmong. And I had the idea of changing our skirt. Also, we did that back in with the Meow song with Nkauj Hmoob USA back, I believe it was Labor Day. I can't remember the year, but we definitely did do that, and I wanted to bring that back. I wanted to add a twist to it, so kind of like a plot twist, so that if you listen to the song carefully in the beginning, he will talk in Hmong Do first, and then after the intermission, that is when we change our skirts to Hmong Green or Hmong Joa, and then he starts speaking of Hmong Joa, and then after that, we kind of had banners of why we are proud to be Hmong, because now that, you know, like Hmong people are, you know, upgrading, we are having lawyers and doctors and, you know, stuff like that. So we had banners to kind of like represent that. And then we also have like props of like oxes and stuff like that to kind of like illustrate the song. And then I think that one, I think to me, like when I started it, and like every time I go back and watch it too, it always brings me tears because of all the hard work that, you know, like me and my dance group and my sister and all of us put in there together. I always want to say thank you to our parents who always supportive of us, because for that song and that dance for Nkauj Taws, we literally finished our outfits the Friday before competition at 3 a.m. and we had 2 hours to sleep and get up by 5 a.m. to leave and get to Milwaukee in time. And so it was very stressful, but all of our parents stayed up with us. But whenever I think of that song, it makes me cry, like, because cry of all the hard work that we did the day before and all that in between. So I mean, it was very stressful, but it was very rewarding, you know. So I'm always very thankful for all the parents that always supported my dancers and I throughout our journey. Whether it's, you know, sometimes our parents are kind of there, sometimes they're not. You know, and sometimes we're kind of independently on our own. And so I just feel like with that being said, I feel like that was one of the songs that really gets me every time because of all the hard work that we put in there.
Okay. All right. So we have quite a few questions coming in here. So I'm going to jump around a little bit. Okay, guys, just so that we can get as many questions as possible. So, Jua wants to know, Manie, now that you aren't dancing anymore, what are you looking forward to next?
So yeah, I decided that I'm not gonna be dancing anymore. Not only because I just feel like I am a better dancer now. I think sometimes it's better to just kind of have others, like have their spotlight. And also because I feel like me, I've been dancing for so long, I kind of get tired of myself, seeing myself on stage sometimes, So it's kind of like, okay, like your time is over. So for me, now I am helping more of co-coaching. So like for instance, last year, 2019, I helped co-coach Nkauj Hmoob from Wafa, and then I this year I am helping one of my dancers, Baby Boo. I am helping her co-coach Nkauj. So I'm super excited about all the projects that we're going to be having up. And so with co-coaching, it's more of just confirming ideas, confirming moves, confirming, being the backup for their coach. So it's kind of like a manager in a way, but like also more of choreography as well. So, yeah, I'm focusing on my career as a hairstylist.
Okay. Sorry guys, I had to mute my mic because it's thundering right now, apparently. So, yeah, it's thundering right now, so I just didn't want too much background noise. All right. So thank you for that, Manie. Next question from Ong. Ong is wondering, how do you encourage sportsmanship in your groups, and how do you deal with other groups that are super competitive but show no sportsmanship at all?
That's a very good question. So to me, I always told my dancers that we are going for, like, it's okay to not always win, and you don't have to always be competitive towards other groups. Like it's always good to have sportsmanship, and I think to me, like I always told them that you always have to keep an open-minded mindset and always, reflect on yourself and just be a good team member, I think, I do kind of see like an kind of like a sportsmanship thing going on too, where some groups are like this and some groups are like that. I think to me, it's kind of like if you surround yourself with good people, good environment, good sportsmanship, you have a positive mindset. It just brings more positivity in your life, and you will just be more confident in yourself and your team. And yeah, and with others who don't have, like very good sportsmanship, I just feel like just maybe, kind of just thinking outside the box and have a good mindset. I've never really had an issue with really bad sportsmanship. I was always taught to, be kind, and yeah, just be kind and stay positive.
Mm-hmm. All right, yep, and that's definitely true. And I do just want to add that I think having that good sportsmanship, you never know when you are going to need each other. And I think I've said this to the current generation once before too, but in the past, I never would have thought that, my sisters and I would have ended up coordinating dance competitions. And the first people that we turn to are, people like you, Manie, and other dancers that we competed against, and because we know that you guys have been through it, you guys have the knowledge, the experience, the commitment, and not only as, a judge, but also as an MC, as an assistant, because you guys know how it works, and for someone who doesn't know how it works, it can be pretty challenging to teach them that sometimes. And so, because of that great sportsmanship, we've been able to work together on so many things, even just doing a broadcast together, like, what we're doing right now. That's very, very valuable. And that's something that I personally would like to continue on for future generations. So having that good sportsmanship is really, really positive, just like you said, Manie, and you never know when you're going to need it down the road. So always keep that in mind. All right, so moving on to some more questions. Naima, I think that's how you say your name. Sorry if I said it wrong. How do you come up with themes for your dances? You and your sisters are always so creative.
Oh, so like I said before, thinking outside the box, kind of like maintaining the success. You kind of want to be different, whether it's kind of like from props to outfits to kind of something to like help you stand out, help your audience kind of remember you, you know? Um, and also a lot of the ideas kind of sometimes it's just coming from movies and kind of just like your references of YouTube videos and stuff like that. But a lot of my ideas usually come from like thinking outside the box. What can I do to make my dance group stand out? You know, even if it's just a little bit from outfit to choreography. You know, yeah, yeah. I think that's how to kind of just stay like different.
Okay. All right. Okay. And Golia wants to know what has Hmong dancing taught you?
Oh goodness, I can go on and on and on about this question. Hmong dancing has taught me so many things. A lot of networking skills, a lot of communication. So like kind of like what you said before with you never know when you will need, previous dancers to help you. Um, to me, that's a biggie because like I never I never knew that, I'd be doing a broadcast with you today, right? So
Mm-hmm.
to me, I feel like that's kind of goes into like good sportsmanship and stuff. That having good sportsmanship, it really helps you with a lot of networking skills. So Hmong dancing has helped me with a lot of networking skills. It has helped me to learn who I am, also as a Hmong woman and as a Hmong dancer. So kind of, I am now knowing a lot more about my culture and our outfits and our songs, and that I feel like that's what has really taught me from Hmong dancing. I mean, I could go on and on about this topic because Hmong dancing it has been such a big part of my life. I've been doing it for so long that um, it's whenever somebody asks me something, I can go on and on about Hmong dancing. So it has it really is a big impact for my life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I think for all of us dancers, we can
Yeah,
go on
right?
forever about how it has
Oh,
impacted us. Yeah.
I know.
So yeah, okay, but yeah, thank you, Golia, for that question. Definitely very valuable. All right, next question from your sister Shang. What is one thing you feel that dancers who don't have supportive parents or relatives and siblings should do, especially if they don't support dance?
Um, I feel like that is kind of tough. For me, I mean, I've never. I mean, I don't know. My mom has always been supportive of us. There was maybe one time where she was kind of like tired of us dancing because she's kind of like, you guys are getting old, like kind of do your, you guys gotta move on in life. But like,
Mhm.
for us, it's more of kind of being like financially and stably and mentally. I think having like being in a group that supports you as well, financially, like kind of having sponsorships or fundraisers and stuff like that. I think that helps you financially. Um, and I think a lot of it has to do with, the team that you're with. Um, Having like for them to also support you so that you can keep going. So that way you're not alone. Um, and I think maybe just coming out to talk with your parents about it, kind of just say like, this is something I kind of just want to do for a little bit. It's not like gonna be like the rest of my life. Kind of just coming out to them, like saying like I just kind of want to just enjoy Hmong dancing, and and sometimes like they will understand that they will understand that like you just kind of want to have your fun, and yeah, I feel like that's the best way to come out to your family about kind of just going with what you want to do versus what they expect you to do. Yeah, that's a tough one because I wouldn't say like I've been through it, but I've been through it, but also haven't been through it enough where my parents never really supported me. I personally like always had my parents supporting us. Yeah, like I said, there were some times that it didn't really go well, but we always kind of stood next to each other and just kind of kept going, as a team, and just kept going. Like even if that means traveling by herself, like without her parents, even if that means like making props by herself without them. Yeah, so I mean it was pretty tough, but for sure, just kind of letting them know that like, hey, I'm not gonna stop, even if you tell me, I'm gonna keep doing it, and whether you support me or not, I'm still gonna do it. Just kind of going with what your heart desires.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. So next question. What was your favorite New Year to compete in, and do you have any advice for new dancers?
My favorite New Year, definitely Milwaukee Hmong New Year. That is the New Year that I look forward to the most, because every year it changes with like different rounds and different dance groups. And also, I think what really stands out about that is that the way they do their setup with stage and a lot of lights and stuff like that. I think like that is different from all other New Year's that I've been to. It's all very dark, and you go up there, you're like the spotlight. You and your team are like the spotlight, and I really like how they set that up. Um, and it's always very well organized in Milwaukee Hmong New Year. I also really like it now that we have kind of like dancers have their own, space to change in and stuff like that. Yeah, Milwaukee. I've always looked forward to Milwaukee Hmong New Year. It's the biggest Hmong New Year in Wisconsin. So they always have singing competition. They always have something new, like art contest, fashion shows, singing pageant and stuff like that. So they have like all this whole, like different categories of competition. And advice for new dancers: don't be scared. Also, don't be scared of like to start Hmong dancing. It's challenging, but you will never know until you give it a try. Just like anything else that you would in life. And Hmong dancing, once you do it, you kind of just want to keep going. You kind of want to know more, and also like the outfits and stuff. The outfits, the way the songs and the lyrics and stuff like that. You get more into it, and you start just kind of being more interested in it. And for new dancers, have good sportsmanship, and if you have good sportsmanship to other teams, they'll always have good sportsmanship back to you. So for instance, like I was telling you before that that I like dancers have asked me where we've gotten our accessories, our who our sellers are and stuff like that. I always tell them I'm not secretive. I kind of tell them because just to help each other out, have good sportsmanship, and just tell each other like, oh, I got it from here. It's a really good deal and stuff like that. So I think just having a lot of good sportsmanship and being like knowing your team members in the team, and making friends, being going outside of your comfort zone.
Okay. All right. So thank you for that, Manie. Okay, I'm gonna jump around again a little bit here. We got some new questions. Cindy is wondering, what was the most memorable competition you've competed in and why?
The most memorable competition. I think this was back when Nkauj USA, when we went to Stevens Point. And I can't remember. We were on stage, and I can't remember if we placed or not because I was very young. I was maybe like 11 or something, and I think that has always been my most memorable because one of like my dancers had an accident on stage because she was super excited. So yeah, that was like my most memorable like memory of like dancing. I guess, yeah. I don't know. There's a lot, but then I think that has to be my top. Like I was
Okay.
like little to remember, but then I can still remember that she was super happy and excited or something. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. And let's see. Cynthia wants to know, what do you like most about dancing / competing? So.
What do I like most about dancing and competing? Competing is a little bit different from when we were doing showcasing, just like shows. Dancing, like competitive dancing competitions, it was you challenge yourself a lot more. So there was a lot more adrenaline. There was a lot more challenges you had to go through. Versus like showcasing, you don't have to worry a lot because the majority of like the audiences, they are focused on competition. So what I don't know, like what I like most about dancing is just being up there, showing showing my talent, doing what I do best, and also enjoying the stage. Having fun up there and not being too strict on yourself. What I didn't like was kind of just practices, I guess. Like my dancers and I always talk about how we want to just go up there and dance, but not like behind the scene where you have to practice and because it's kind of like you constantly have to. Whenever we're at practice, it's always like 1 or 2 person missing and stuff like that. So it's kind of like behind the scenes stuff that I'm not a big fan of. Doing last minute stuff, and then I love going on stage and just performing. If I could just have a memory where I can just grasp like one dance down and perform it the next day, like I totally would do that. But then I don't have that. So even though I'm a fast learner, but like still nobody has that talent to just
Yeah.
learn and do it the next day. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. Okay. I think we're gonna do maybe 5, 7 more minutes of questions, and then we're going to end the broadcast. So whoever has a question, please note it down before we end the broadcast. Ngulia says, Nick wants to know, what do you think about married women dancing? A lot of elders say if you're married, you can no longer perform.
See, there's a lot of things with that. For me personally, if I was to be married, I still want to dance. And there's a lot of pros and cons about that. Like, it's kind of like back in the days, they never allowed you to because they kind of saw that as like you were showing too much body and stuff like that. And but the world is changing. The world is changing, and I feel like you can still do it. You can still do it if you want to. I feel like you shouldn't be stopped just because you're married. But everyone has their own different opinion. Like for sure, the elders would not like it. But then I feel like if you're passionate about it, and you want to do it, just keep doing it. Even if it's just a couple performances here and there, I think that's fine. But like if you're very worried, I feel like maybe just being a coach and teaching and not being on stage, I feel like that's what really throws off the elders, is that you're going on stage to show yourself versus like if you were to be a coach and teach another team and they do it, like that's something totally different. I feel like if you really want to and you want to continue dancing, maybe teach another group and have them do it for you and to showcase your ideas and your talent for you. Yeah, versus like, if you're really worried, I feel like that's the best way to go. But yeah, that's hard because, you know, the world is changing now, but still some people are kind of stuck in there and don't want to change really.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's definitely a very interesting question, but yeah, I think with the current generation, it is changing. So yep. Okay. Cindy is asking, do you think having a bond within your team is important, and why?
Oh yeah, I feel like that plays a huge role. Um, like for instance, I feel like if you have more bonding with your team members, you guys are more like the team members are they would be more open to speaking their minds and speaking their thoughts. Versus if you're not as close, then some of them might be kind of like secluded and don't really want to share their opinions and thoughts. And I feel like that, like everyone's sharing their ideas and opinions, and that's a big role as a whole team, as a whole group, in order for your group to, for them to be comfortable to dance with you and also to kind of have a good bond. Yeah, I think that plays a really huge role because I've kind of had my moments too where sometimes I would, you know, kind of be strict versus like sometimes where I would just, you know, kind of take in opinions. And to me though, but I always take in my dancers' opinions mainly because I feel like I want them I want them to be comfortable in speaking their thoughts with me and me being able to take it, whether it's, you know, changing a little bit here and there, changing outfits and stuff like that, to you know, criticizing or anything like that. I want them to be able to talk to me about it and being, you know, for them to be able to open up to me. I feel like that's a big part too in a team is talking to each other, communication, and trusting.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. And Ong is asking, do you ever have dance competition nightmares, like forgetting an accessory or clothing item?
Oh my gosh, I think every Hmong dancer has. Oh
Yes,
my
we all
goodness.
do.
Oh my goodness. I have multiple dreams of that all the time. I would even have times where like I would go, I feel like in my dream, like I would go on stage and like slip or something and then like twist, you know? So yeah, that definitely happens like a couple days before competition for sure. Definitely.
Yep. Yes, I'm sure we all have those moments on. So
Oh my goodness, yeah.
yep, we do. Okay, does anybody else have any questions for Manny before we close the broadcast here? Okay, I'll just give it a minute. Okay. All right. So if we don't have any more questions, we are going to end the broadcast here. Thank you to once again to Manny for volunteering your time to be a part of the broadcast today. And thank you to all of our viewers for your questions and for watching the broadcast. I hope that you guys learned, something and took something important away from this, especially from all the great success and accomplishments that Manny has achieved within her whole dancing journey. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to interview her for this broadcast here. And so, I hope that in the future I can do more of these. I think it's good to kind of get an idea of our dancers' backgrounds and what goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot of work that goes on, and I remember, Ming, the coordinator for the Milwaukee Hmong New Year, she did mention before in one of our previous broadcasts that unfortunately, the arts community is not very heavily supported financially in our community. And so I wanted to bring that, into awareness as well, which is one of the reasons why I put together all the data and the stats there, because we really have accomplished a lot as a community. And I want them to hear stories like Manny's, putting Wisconsin on the map going out of state, representing your state and representing your team, representing your culture, your whole community. That's very, very important. And so I hope that, for those who were not very familiar with the dance community, I hope that you guys learned something important and took something away from this. And even if you are not part of it, we would like your support with it, because we want to be able to carry this on for generations to come. So thank you once again to everybody. Manie, do you want to say any last words?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, Baying, and also thank you, Kalia, for making the video. It was definitely a video that went down memory lane for me.
Yes, thank you, Kalia.
So much. And also, I just want to give a quick shout out to all my dancers, my previous dancers, and my dancers that I am with right now. I am super, super thankful that each and every one of you guys were in my life, and you guys have made a huge impact in my life. And I just can't wait to see what each and every one of you guys go on with your new journeys, whether it's dancing, whether it's your other career in life. And also, I really enjoyed this, and I just want to say thank you so much.
All right.
And yeah, just to anybody who wants to keep dancing or having any other questions, feel free to message me on Facebook. And yeah, we can talk from there.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much to everybody. And again, if we didn't get to your question, I apologize, but we will end the broadcast here. So thank you again to everybody. And, stay safe, stay healthy. All right. And we will see you guys hopefully soon. So thank you. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.